Here's a simple, no-nonsense approach to getting started with investing and making money doing it. So what I recommend you do, I advocate for the long-term, simple path where you can just set your money aside and forget about it, not have to check the stock market every day for peace of mind, and you get to have long-term gains with that. So what I first recommend you do is check into the brokerage companies such as Vanguard or Fidelity. And I want you to consider looking into the index funds. Look into VTSAX, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, and look into the VSKAX, the Fidelity equivalent of the VTSAX. And then I want you to consider maybe putting away $200 to $300 a month in there. If you feel like that's too much, then I'd much rather you at least start than not at all, because one of many investors' biggest regrets is not starting soon enough. And I know that as soon as I started investing a year ago, I was like, man, I wish I would have done this whenever I was like 19 years old. But we can't change the past, and we just don't need to live with that regret. But what I would consider you to do is, if you're still having hesitancy in starting this, I'd recommend doing maybe $10 a month, just putting it into VTSAX or putting it into the VSKAX. But I want you to just think about just putting it into the S&P, putting it into the total stock market, and just setting that aside, maybe $10 a month. You start out with that. Then as you get more comfortable with that, maybe you can consider adding more. If you're going to do Vanguard though, there is a $3,000 minimum on that. So if you can't afford that, then you can just do VTI, which is the Vanguard ETF of that version. But I would recommend VSKAX because the expense ratio is so low and there is no minimum amount that you have to contribute into that to start that. And then the next thing I'd recommend you consider doing is investing in Bitcoin. You can go onto Coinbase and you can just get started with just doing $10 a month there as well. Just putting away money that you would totally forget about, that you wouldn't really care losing. If that's like $1 a month, or if that's, you just pick your money. I'd recommend like $10 a month. That way you get your feet wet, and then as you get comfortable with that, then do 50, then do 100. I personally just put in a bunch because I wasn't too worried about it. But if you have more questions about this, I'd recommend you read the book called A Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, and check out all the strategies in there. So I hope this was helpful, and I wish you a wonderful day. You got this. Just get started. You got it.